Hey, I'm Dark North, hope you all are doing well. In this video, I'll be talking about Raiden Aggravate Team, including compositions, stat guidelines, candidates, and rotations. For the composition, it will be Raiden plus 1 Electro plus 1 Dendro plus a Flex. So let's talk about these stat guidelines. For the Electro DPS characters that you want benefiting from Aggravate, you want to have a balance of EM, crit, attack, elemental damage bonus, and anything else their damage scales with, and also make sure they're level 90 as these reactions do scale hard with character levels. Best set for Aggravate spread damage characters is Gilded Dreams, as the 4-piece gives a lot of EM just from the 4-piece set, but for Raiden, 4-piece emblem is still better. If you can't get EM stats like me, you can get EM from other sources like Dendro Resonance, Dendro MC passive, Nahida passive, and other characters' abilities, etc. So let's talk about the Electro slot. Fischl is the best because her passive can proc on Aggravate and can proc Aggravate itself, and it also has no internal cooldown, so every hit of this passive will aggravate, adding a lot to the team damage. Yamiko is also great with Aggravate, and she has some EM scaling on her own damage as well, which is nice. And she can also be batteried by Raiden in the same team, as she does have a high burst cost. Kujosara can be used especially at C6, as the damage buff she provides to Raiden does work even with Aggravate damage. Lisa can also be used for her 15% defense shred and can also do decent off-field damage if you build her for Aggravate. The chain can be used as a quick swap, though is not the best option here in this team, as she will kind of compete for on-field time with Raiden, and she also has no off-field damage. Beto does not proc her burst with Raiden's auto attack hits, as you may or may not know, as this was blown way out of proportion back in 2.1, so avoid using them on the same team. Kuki can be used, though she is better in Hyper Bloom teams than Aggravate, as her multipliers for damage are low, but if you need a healer, she is an option and can be built for Aggravate if you want. So now let's talk about the Dendro slot. Nahida is the best option here in terms of off-field Dendro damage and off-field Dendro application, and can also utilize the quick and debuff at the same time to spread, and also gives EM to the active character in her field, which is great if you have no or little EM on your Raiden. Dendro MC is also a great off-field Dendro applicator, and also has a passive that gives EM to the active character, which is nice. Apart from these two, any of the other Dendro characters in the game right now also work fine, as Quicken sticks for a while and is not removed by triggering Aggravate, so you don't need super fast Dendro application. The last slot is Flex, which can be either Zhongli for all elemental red shred including Dendro and Electro in this team, and can also petrify enemies and provide a shield. Or you can use Anima characters with 4-piece Iridescent to shred Electro resistance. Kazuha's damage bonus also increases Aggravate damage, which is nice, and his C2 EM buff is also good, and the same with Sucrose, her EM buff is also really useful in Aggravate teams. So now let's talk about rotations. You start with Raiden's skill, use Dendro, use your off-field Electro, in my case it is Fischl, and then burst with Raiden until it ends and then repeat. In this exact clip, my rotation is Raiden's skill, Zhongli's skill for the shield and shred, Nahida burst and skill, Fischl's Oz, and then Raiden burst. This team is very simple to play as long as you have enough energy recharge on characters to maintain burst every rotation. And that was the Raiden Aggravate team guide. If you guys found this helpful, consider leaving a like and subscribe for more content. I'm Dark North, thanks for watching, have a good one.